Show, its guests, agents, and WRLR are not rendering any legal advice. All listeners are encouraged to seek legal advice from properly licensed and qualified professionals.
Good morning. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
You got the deer in the headlights look.
Oh boy, here we are. Another
know.
Sunday.
Yahoo!
Welcome to the Mierswa show and the Peggy Busceni
Co-host.
co-host.
Love it, yes.
So, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's been a busy week. Just kind of, I was just saying I missed 2 workouts this week with Al, who, he was our guest a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure he's
Al the trainer.
Al the trainer, Al Roth, and he's, I'm sure, going to get on me tomorrow, but the election threw me off Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then Friday. I don't know what happened, but I was like, oh, I just can't make it. But
You didn't know what happened Tuesday? Trump won.
oh, I know. Woohoo! Not that I'm excited, but yes, thank you very much.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Very excited.
Yeah.
And we were here Tuesday night,
Yes,
and there was about 8 of us total.
it was great.
And it was an excellent night.
Yeah.
And we were broadcasting live the results from the election.
Yeah.
And I've been analyzing politics for the last year,
Okay.
and I kept telling everyone that there is an underlying current
Mm-hmm.
and
Sure.
that the media doesn't get it,
Right.
and a lot of other people don't get it, and
Yeah.
they don't understand the frustrations that most Americans are feeling, or the majority.
Exactly.
And all these polls and everything that went on and on and on.
Those graphs were beautiful, I must say.
Their graphs were
However-
beautiful, but they were wrong.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks before,
Yeah.
12 points, 13 points,
Mhm.
15 points.
It was such a wide margin. I just kept saying, can this really be true? Are they skewed maybe, or is somebody adding a point or 2 here or there?
Well,
Yeah.
they were.
I know.
And as we found out, and I kept trying to warn everyone I was talking to, they thought I was nuts.
Yeah.
And there are other attorneys that I met. I talked to some people outside the courthouse,
Uh-huh.
the courtrooms, as we're kind of waiting, and they're like, no, we don't think so, and the polls are so accurate. And I said, no, they feed what you want to feed.
Exactly.
And you look at who was putting on the polls,
Yep.
and they were obviously so wrong.
Very skewed.
And we're here from the Midwest,
Right.
and everyone I talk to is just so frustrated,
Yeah.
and really has just reached that maximum point
Yeah.
of overage, and it's almost like a furnace exploding.
Something like that. Or Malcolm Gladwell could, explain really well with the tipping point. Did you ever read that?
No, I have
Where
not.
so
read that.
much, you have so much information, or you have so much of one thing, and then it's, just one thing tips it over to where the flow or the tide goes back in resistance and stuff. So if I can bring up Malcolm Gladwell, who is a wonderful author, but the tipping point, I think Midwesterners are very much at the tipping point going, how much more of this can we take? It's going to burst.
And here's the thing too. You can go to Google and then Google the counties
Mm-hmm.
that were red and the counties that were blue. Blue was for the Democrats, red
Yes.
was for the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see up and down California,
Yes.
throughout the Midwest, and everywhere it was all red.
Yeah.
And if you look, all the major cities like in New York,
Yes.
Los Angeles, Chicago, Cook County was Democrat,
Right.
but you look everywhere else and it was like 95% red.
I saw that. Yes.
And
So,
then I think that's where all of these Americans, and then they on one of the talk shows, I listen to a lot of talk shows
do you?
during the week,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I can work with my computer and laptops, and then in the background I have a lot of conservative talk.
I listen to NPR, which I never thought I would do, but
Oh, okay.
I like NPR.
I do, there are some shows I do like on NPR.
Yes, yes.
I've started listening again.
Yeah.
They got a little left for me.
Uh-huh.
So I got
Very
tired
good.
of, they were trying to say, oh, we're in the center, and then they went
No.
right to attacking
I know.
Trump.
know.
But yeah, they got some good shows on NPR.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, so during the week I listened to a lot of talk shows,
Mhm.
and I can't tell you that all the stuff that they were saying was, you know, some of the people that are right on the money, and they weren't, all these other listeners and weren't believing it.
Right.
And just all the people that I talked to, business owners,
Yeah.
people just paying taxes, have just had enough of all the stuff that's going on in Washington.
Yes.
And so they had this guy that called in. He was, I think, in his late 60s, early 70s.
Mhm.
And he goes, I haven't voted for 35 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he goes, Washington just turned me off.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes, I've had it.
Wow.
I've had it. So he came out to vote.
Yeah.
And
he made a difference.
oh, huge.
You
So I think that was the population, and a lot of people are saying, you know what, I'm not going to say anything, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, they came out, and then they spoke their mind through voting.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I think that's huge.
It is huge. You know, I was on the computer this morning reading some posts from politicalstorm.com, and while the polls were telling us, you know, Hillary's ahead, you know, a gazillion points or whatever, one of the points that was made in this article that I was reading by John Fury, he's the President of Communications and Director of Government Affairs for Quinn Gillespie and Associates. He's a Washington, D.C. columnist and stuff, but he was saying that the average voter feels powerless and resentful against the powerful people running for office, like the president and stuff. Mr. Trump and Mr. Sanders, they went out and got money from the average person to support
Right.
them.
The average Joe.
Yeah, you know, whereas like Mrs. Clinton, she and Jeb Bush kind of failed at the raising money for themselves in their campaign and stuff, because they were saying to the average person that they raised funds from the very wealthy,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a way they thought to show their legitimacy as candidates and stuff. But the average person, this guy's trying to say, doesn't want to hear that, because number one, the average person, you know, they can give $10 if they got it, and they'll never be part of a super PAC. They'll never be part of a large scale of people who can just give a lot of money. So that was one of the points that I thought was really important, that the average person felt they could trust, if you will, Mr. Trump to take them seriously as voters and advocate for them as the average people, you know, as just a regular citizen trying to make America great again.
Yeah, you know, I think that's an interesting point. Trump had $10, $20 donations that were his biggest donors.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point people overlooked, where she had the bigger influence corporate donors and so forth. Why don't you get into your PSAs? I'll do mine,
Yes.
and then
Okay.
we'll do some more analysis
Yeah,
Tuesday night.
I like it.
I was prepared either way, but we'll get into that.
Me too, me too. All right, so on, let's see here, the Western and Southern Life is an insurance company dating back to 1888. Roma Klisowitz, a financial representative, can offer plans for retirement income, protecting your family's income with advantages of tax deferment opportunities. The company's objective is customer service, which addresses the client and their unique situations. For more information, Roma Klisowitz's phone number is 847-653-8255. 0289 or 847-340-3081. Their office is located at 9501 West Devon Avenue in Rosemont, that's Illinois. So, Western and Southern Life Insurance. So, our next thing, Round Lake Area District 116 is having an art show Tuesday, November 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. It's at the Round Lake Beach Cultural and Civic Center at 2007 Civic Center Way at Round Lake Beach, 60073. So, Tuesday night, art show. So, yeah, okay?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't have to read it. Okay, doing my 2 shout-outs that I do every week. Everyone who's tuned into the show knows I'm a huge animal rescue, animal lover guy. And this is Reach Rescue, a non-for-profit, non-kill animal shelter located in Mundelein. And if you want to go out and fill your house with more goods, like if you walk in your living room and you don't stub your toe or bash your knee on something, maybe you need some more antiques.
There you go.
So they have a resale shop, and you can stop in there. And then better yet, if you're overindulged with stuff, then you can drop it off there and then get a tax deduction. And right next door is a cat and dog rescue and adoption center. Mm-hmm. So it's all non-for-profit. Everyone that works there are all volunteers.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, we have Save a Pet, which is right up the road on Fairfield. And again, they are non-for-profit. And if you're looking at adopting an animal, please, please, please go to these shelters and adopt an animal. And then I want to give an update on Sprat.
Oh, yeah, don't forget Sprat the cat.
Sprat the cat.
Yeah.
For you listeners just tuning in, I had 3 cats that passed away this last year. And Karen came home one day. Karen's my wife, for you listeners that don't know. And she's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was kind of like moody and gloomy.
Shocking. I can't believe that.
Angry. Imagine me angry.
Oh, God. The cat didn't tell you he was going to check out.
Right. So we came home. She's like, "Oh, my God, what is going on? What happened?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm just kind of depressed. I was thinking about the cats." And so she got me out, and we went to 2 or 3 shelters, and then we got a little gray cat who was about 7 pounds.
Oh.
That's it, this gray little thing that looks like Scrat from Ice Age, and Karen named her Scrat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, that sounds like a rat." So we renamed her Sprat.
Yes.
And so Sprat, we took her to the vet yesterday. She weighed in at 11 pounds.
Ooh, she's a heavyweight.
So she almost doubled her weight.
That's pretty good.
In 3 months. So she's like this little tank now. She's like this little Sherman tank during World War II, trying to take on the Tiger tanks. But she's really healthy.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah, she's a welcome addition. So I tell you, I've every day I get up, I got to deal with her, but she's so sweet, and she changed the dynamic in the house.
Oh, that's good. 2 chicks and you,
Yeah, and the other 2 cats, and Karen and I are glad when she sleeps. It's kind of like the devil sleeps.
Yeah.
And then I was headed on the studio, and she just got up and she announced it.
Yeah, they tend to chat.
And she's very chatty, but so that is a rescue cat, and I'm telling you, go out and save some animals, and don't go to these breeders. So
yeah, they I've seen some signs around some of the stores around here that they sell the puppies and stuff, and some pretty nasty signs. It's a puppy mill and stuff like that. So it's pretty daunting.
Well, good for them. I'm glad they get out and protest that and make people aware that they do come from puppy mills and
now
stuff
these,
like that.
I keep forgetting to ask you, but these places that you're advertising, do they only do dogs and cats, or?
They are affiliated with Lake County. They're mostly cat and dogs, because that's the most rescue. but I do know they're connected with other people that have farms and stuff like that. So if there's ever a rescue for horses or something like that, they are certainly connected with people like that. Yeah. So
It's like, because I've seen like on Facebook lately, I've seen people put lizards in their pictures and stuff, and I'm like, I'm wondering if we have, I mean, not that I'm not a fan of lizards, I'm not, but.
well, they're animals too.
I know.
But
Yeah.
I think they got people connected,
Sure,
and
that can.
then we stopped into another food store for animals,
Oh,
and it's non-grains, and it's a little more expensive, but we buy good stuff for our animals. And the clerk that was working there rescued 2 pit bulls,
wow.
and then she got 2 Maine Coon cats
Wow.
that weigh 20 pounds apiece.
Eesh.
Yeah, can you believe that? And then but they're all rescues.
Wow.
And she rescued one from a barn. It was like a
Oh.
dilapidated barn.
Wow.
And she said that she was out that way, and for some reason she heard the cat meow, and now the cat's got this awesome life.
How cool.
And then her parents gave her a $4,000 couch set,
Yeah.
and she said that all of the materials all hanging out now.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. Yeah.
$4,000 couch.
Oh.
So, all right. So we got a 2-hour show today,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty excited about that. We got a lot of stuff to go over.
No kidding.
And Peggy, any other topics you want to kind of talk about, or
Oh,
you want
well,
me to play
You
first
know,
audio?
I'll tell you, we can. I have notes on a couple of things. I was, just delving into this whole outcome of the election and stuff. But, I don't want to brag or anything that that we won. But
We're trying not to gloat.
right. I don't want to.
However,
no, I mean, actually, there's a few other things that are kind of catching my attention. Mr. Trump has 7 points that he's already presented to people, saying, here's what I want to do in my first 100 days of office, which I think is extremely forward-thinking and very planned. He's not coming in with some willy-nilly notion of, I'm gonna repeal this or do this or, give, women the vote or make more money or, those very broad, grandiose things that some candidates might say to get to office and then get there and go, oh, I was trying to do that, but I couldn't quite,
right.
couldn't quite fix it up.
Right.
But I'm finding that his first 100 days in office, it sounds like he has a solid plan. One of them is to set term limits for people who hold office. Now, I was also reading that Mitch McConnell doesn't particularly enjoy Mr. Trump's company, but he also was like, I'm not sure we're going to do that either.
Right.
But I said, well, of course, by reading these articles and stuff, Mitch McConnell, he's one of the people that Trump is trying to say, here's the door. So, I can see why they might not agree on term limits or something like that. But that's like one of his first things.
So he wants to install, I think it's 2 term limits or 3?
I think just 2.
2. Okay, and that's with Congress.
Yeah,
That includes all of the Congress people.
the current
Men and
sitting
women.
folks. Yeah, so that would wipe out all of Congress.
Wow.
But
So every 12 years on Senate, you would have a turnover.
yeah,
And then also in the House, which is every 2 years. They're
6. One of them is 6.
I think they rotate every
Yeah.
6 years, so you're
Yeah.
there for 6, but then every 2 years is an election.
That's true.
Okay,
yes.
so every 12 years,
Yeah,
Congress gets recycled.
which, nothing wrong with bringing some new blood into the fold.
Right.
Because, that makes for nice change or, maybe not change, but a little adjustment.
Sure, that's a big change.
Yeah,
I've seen I've seen some information that some of these Congress people have been there for 20, 30, 40 years.
Who was that guy down in the South? He was there. He was 90 when he died, and he was in there 70 years.
Yeah, he was in there, and I believe he was the gentleman that Hillary Clinton praised.
Oh.
And Byrd, wasn't it Byrd?
Right, Clarence Byrd.
Yeah.
Clarence Byrd, yeah.
Yeah, so Byrd or Bird?
B-Y-R-D.
Yeah, I think it's Byrd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in there for
Forever.
the majority of his life. And then also, I saw some information on the number of millionaires that are in Congress.
Yeah.
And then they become millionaires being in Congress.
Right.
And it's supposed to be more of a public service job.
And did you see Trump's not going to take a salary?
No, I didn't see that.
No, he said, I'm not taking a salary. It's only $400,000 a year.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, you're wasting my time.
Yeah.
So amazing. So when he said that he wanted to help America and all that, he's not taking a salary.
Yep.
And then his kids are going to be running the company.
Exactly.
And I guess it goes into a blind trust.
Which, I'm not I understand trust and everything, but I think a blind trust is a whole different game.
Yeah.
But
it's only for politics.
Well, okay.
A blind trust.
Isn't that the way? Well, never mind. No, but it's it should be interesting to see how he turns over all of that power to his family.
Yeah.
And make it a smooth transition and stuff, because it's a lot of people running one company or whatever he's got. You know what I'm saying?
But he's organized. He's running a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Didn't he just open a hotel? Another one?
Yeah, I think he's opened a couple of them. There was one in Ireland.
Yeah.
Where he flew into.
Yeah.
And everything he did, there was controversy. And,
of course.
But what are some other points that are on his 100 days list?
Let's see.
To complete in 100 days.
He, let's see here. There's
You got like 30 pages of notes there.
Of course. Well, and my handwriting is so beautiful. No, but
looks like Sprat ran across your.
Well, yeah.
With some ink on her claws.
Let's see here. Yes. All right. He wants term limits. And the thing is, with the term limits, it's not like he's going to walk into the office and say, "Oh, by the way, this is what we're doing now." I mean, he realizes that it is a constitutional amendment that's going to have to pass. It's not like he can walk in and just, like perhaps some former presidents, Mr. Obama, where you just stroke of a pen and
through executive action.
Yeah, which he realizes, hey, I can't do that myself. I'm going to have to.
Oh, so the term limits is a proposed constitutional amendment, which has to be ratified by 3/4 of the states.
Yes.
So
yes, but and he realizes that, and it's a goal, a tangible goal that he's put down, and it's something he's going to work toward.
Okay.
He is also
that will make Congress real friendly to some of these.
But the thing is, though, he's got the Republican majority in both the House and the Senate. So I mean, it's not like it's going to be a cakewalk or anything, and especially when they're dealing with their own jobs.
Right. You're gonna put me out of my own job.
Exactly.
All right.
It's like talking to a lawyer about another lawyer and saying, this lawyer is not doing a good job. Can you help me? And the lawyer is not going to say, well, sure, no problem. Yeah, no.
Right.
But there's got to be a way to appease both sides.
Right.
And perhaps set maybe not a limit, but in every other year or so, or I'm not sure what, but
at least it's on the agenda.
Exactly.
Like here in Illinois, they tried to do term limits,
and it was cut.
And Michael Mannigan cut it.
Yep.
Through the stroke of a pen.
Exactly.
He's got the power to see which bills come on and come off, and it didn't even make it to a bill. It was a referendum.
It was shot down
which is ridiculous. The people should be able to write in, like on California.
Yeah.
I think California adopted a broader marijuana law.
Yes.
But it was written in by the people.
And it seemed to work out. I mean,
just what the people of California need.
Well, I know, but
marijuana.
Well, think of it this way. I mean,
they're out there and we're here and we're lucky.
Well.
And we got all the water.
Well, that's true. Well, that is in the middle of the desert, hello.
Yeah.
But the people of Colorado are making a fortune because they're, the marijuana sales
Yeah,
are augmenting, or, that's helping the tax issues.
sure,
So I'm like,
supplement.
We need that.
Yeah.
I mean, here in Illinois, maybe
You know,
we could get out
people
of that
people
hole
are
we're in.
using illegal drugs,
Right.
whether you admit it or not. So why not legalize it? Some of the stuff.
And tax 'em.
I'm not saying that I'm for it, but why not and tax it and
Right.
stop taxing all the middle class
For,
and hardworking people around
for
Illinois.
soft drinks for a penny.
Yeah, I
an
saw
ounce,
that last
right?
week.
That's crazy.
Last week
Oh.
it was a penny for an ounce.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all the people that
Mhm.
buy soda, so 32 ounce would be an extra 32 cents. And what are they going to do with all the money?
Right, and where's it going? And, and now when we voted this past week, that roads fund,
Yes, there was an amendment to the Illinois Constitution
yeah,
that put the fund, to quote Al Gore,
yeah,
we're going to put it in a lockbox.
yeah.
Remember that? So basically,
Totally.
that constitutional amendment
Yeah,
is a lockbox.
yeah.
They can
Under my
only,
desk.
they actually have to spend the funds on
road.
roads
Yeah.
instead of other things
Right,
and raping the money out of one budget for another.
right, so this line item that's supposedly for the roads, you can't go
Mhm.
in and say, oh, well, Social Security's short, let's, borrow from that.
Right,
Let's hope it works though.
right,
Who's monitoring the monitors?
right.
Same old,
Well,
same old thing.
and here's another good point, and that's why you're on the show, Peggy.
Yeah,
First of all, to curb my temper.
I know.
No, it is voter awareness this
Yes.
time between Twitter and Facebook and all the things on the internet
Yeah.
really blew up.
Yes,
And voters were more than informed, I think, than any time in history
I think so too.
about the candidates
Yes.
and with the WikiLeaks that came out.
Oh, yeah, just at the last minute.
And you saw one lie after another
Right.
with one candidate over another.
Mhm.
And then you saw a lie with a lie, they had to countermand another lie.
Right.
And America was able to see in and see through
Right.
all these people.
Yes. Yes.
And what got me was, I think it was Donna Brazil,
Mhm.
who was a CNN announcer,
Right. Yes.
or had her own show,
Uh-huh.
and she fed questions to Hillary.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, it was just one.
Right.
Then she denied it and then it turned out to be 4. So it was a lot more.
Of course.
So you have to assume that Hillary got all the questions.
Exactly.
And then she goes, yeah, I don't regret it.
Oh, well.
And
Okay.
but we, as a voter, you're able to see through all that.
Right. Right.
And I think that was a huge part of this election.
It was, and to be able to get the answers to the test questions before the test.
Yeah.
How lucky for you, but
Yeah.
it totally skews everything else.
Yeah, in law school,
Oh.
if you find someone cheating, you had to turn them in, or you could be expelled.
Oh, well,
And same thing like at West Point.
yeah,
There's what's known as an honor code.
yes,
And we also, as an attorney, we have a case called Himmel.
mhm,
That if you see an attorney doing wrong, you got to turn them in, or you can get into trouble.
exactly.
And so we got about a minute here before we got to cut the break. Yeah, it just flies,
Oh
doesn't
my
it?
God, where'd that go?
So let's do one more point.
Here, one more point
Yeah,
is,
and we'll tease the audience.
tease the listeners, yes,
And we'll come
Mr.
back.
Trump wants to put a hiring freeze on for federal employees.
Wow.
Except for military, public safety and health professionals.
Okay.
So,
Good.
we'll leave you hanging on that one because that's really important. Think about that because that's gonna lead to his next 3 or 4 points, to, get his presidency, the kick that it needs to get started.
I heard on Progressive Talk that a lot of people working for government were
Mhm.
going to leave if Trump was voted in.
Well, see ya.
And today's Sunday, and I wanted to say God bless them.
Exactly.
See ya.
Have fun.
Yeah, time to
get a real
downsize.
job. I
Right,
know.
let's cut the break.
Okay.
I got to get some sparkling water here.
Me too, me too.
And then we'll be back in a couple of minutes with the Dave Mierswa Show and
Peggy Busceni, co-host.
Family law personal injury and estate planning experience to you. The Dave Mierswa Show, about the people, for the people, and bringing justice to the people. The Dave Mierswa Show, its guests, agents, and WRLR are not rendering any legal advice. All listeners are encouraged to seek legal advice from properly licensed and qualified professionals.
Welcome back to the Dave Mierswa Show. I'm one of your hosts, Dave Mierswa.
I'm Peggy Busceni, the other host.
Yes, so that would make each of us a co-host.
That's correct. Half and half. We can
so-
work on fractions.
50%.
Yeah,
So
I know.
my grade school teacher would be proud. She's probably dead by now.
Oh, no, you know, those math teachers, they hang on forever.
Do they?
Yeah.
She's probably still teaching then.
Uh-huh, yep.
Scolding kids.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that was about 30 years ago.
Mine was 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, you look like it. You look young today. You look vibrant.
Yahoo! I got
And-
1,000 yards in the pool
Yeah. You
Yeah.
this morning?
this morning,
All right,
6:30
let me ask. What? Oh, you already said 6:30 a.m.
a.m.
What
yeah.
time? What time did you get up?
I was up about 4:30, 4:45. Well,
Why?
I didn't want to be late, and I still was a couple of minutes late. But you know, nonetheless, I got there, and I go in my suit because I'm always worried that I'm going to take too long to have to
You just wear a bathing suit in winter.
bathing suit in the winter. Yeah, yeah, and then
Walk around the store slippers.
Well,
Oh, Peggy,
I'm always worried about.
you're always a little different.
Well, what can you do? And, because usually it's pretty warm, but now that it's winter, oh my God, it's gonna freeze. But yeah, but I'm always worried about getting the suit on over all these,
So then you wear a robe.
yeah,
when you're at the store.
all the mountainous terrain.
Oh
I know,
my
it's
God.
crazy, but it's what we do, so,
Hey, if you weren't crazy, then
oh my gosh.
you might be
what
sane.
fun, right, what fun would life be?
Yeah, and
I
it,
know.
right, and with all the masses, and
Oh,
you got to have a good sense of humor, folks.
of course, oh my God, with everything that's going on.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah.
I know.
So we got a 2-hour show today, so you
Woohoo.
gotta stay tuned until 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I hope you guys
And-
can make it.
Yeah,
I know you
my
can.
to Karen that's listening, that I'll be quizzing like every
That's
minute
right.
of the show, and same
Yes.
thing with
Well, my friends, Debbie and Richard, and my brothers Bud and Paul, everybody's gotta know what's going on the
right.
show.
If they
so-
miss 1 minute and they miss this quiz, they are in so much trouble.
They may have to come on as guests on the show.
Oh yeah, I want to get your brother on.
I know.
He's got so
yeah.
much dirt on you.
Well, yeah.
I got all of Lake County courthouse.
Yeah. Yeah, we could probably work that out.
I mentioned Peggy, and I was handcuffed.
Yeah.
I was
well,
escorted out of the building. I was
I
like, I
know.
got court. And they're
Yeah.
like, do you want to go to jail or you want to go home?
Oh wait, somebody asked me that the other day. Whoops.
Uh-oh.
I know, it's crazy, but I've been good, so.
All right,
you know.
troublemaker.
I know, it's one of those things.
What's another point that Trump wants to complete
Mr.
in
Trump,
100
he
days?
wants, the hiring freeze for federal employees. Let's see here. For every, federal regulation that they want to put into play now, his, goal is to cut 2 existing regulations, federal regulations.
That's a good one.
Out. I know. I mean, if you really think about it, if you read our laws in Illinois, I mean, we are regulated to death. I mean, even if
Oh,
you
yeah.
if you breathe the wrong way, you could get arrested, or you could be fined, or there are consequences for every action.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you think about it, Mr. Trump is kind of like letting people live and
Breathe.
breathe.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a very forward-thinking goal, and people don't, like I said, people don't quite realize that we are regulated to the max here. And I've never really read the laws of other states. I've just read Illinois law, but I suspect that we are quite regulatory. We go after everything. And if it isn't gone after, they find a way to regulate something else,
Regulate it or tax it or both.
Or both,
Yeah.
yeah. So, it's sometimes disturbing when you think how invasive these laws are. But, I mean, I understand why they have to be there and everything to keep people at bay, but, oh my God. So this idea of one regulation and taking two out, it sounds great.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I'm wondering if he's gonna, how he's gonna work that, or, if he's gonna have a special team to, thank you. That's okay, it was
Oops.
beautiful.
I'm working the computer right now,
Oh, well,
obviously.
stop it.
I didn't like what you had to say.
I know, so you just went right over my voice, it's all right, I don't care.
All right, what's another good thing that Trump wants to
He
do?
wants a 5-year ban on White House and congressional officials to not become lobbyists, right? Once they leave the White House,
Okay.
they should not be allowed to turn the tables with their knowledge and be lobbyists for whatever groups they might want to represent. So it's a 5-year ban. So like if Hillary wanted to now become a lobbyist, if his plan goes through and he can get this implemented into federal law, she would not be able to become a lobbyist for what, soda pop or oil or
Right.
whatever else she wants to represent.
Okay.
So which I think is very forward thinking on his part, because that will keep these folks just from saying, oh well, I'm going to leave the White House now and I make only $1 million here, but I can make $5 million if I go and lobby for pop or soft drinks or what else? I don't know. People can lobby for just about anything,
Right.
but oil regulation, anything. And it's we want the knowledge here in the United States. We want to keep it here, and we want to have ourselves flourish before we go lobbying for hopefully ourselves, but or outside of the country. So I think he's more interested in keeping our knowledge here in our country and within a 5-year span, trying to keep everybody busy. And that's a real simplistic look at things, but there's people walking around with a lot of knowledge out there and could be very useful, and they need to stay here and stay out of that arena for a while, just for 5 years.
Okay.
So yeah. Let's see here. He wants a lifetime ban on White House officials lobbying on behalf of benefits for foreign governments. So that would completely come across Hillary Clinton, because wasn't she funded by some foreign oil?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Well, yeah.
Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
Qatar.
Qatar.
She took $1 million that she didn't disclose, and she took millions from Saudi Arabia, and there was about another 7 or 8 Middle Eastern countries
Sure.
that were trying to buy influence, obviously.
Yes, and so that's one of his big things is lifetime ban for this. Now, I don't know, again, it's who's going to watch the watchers,
Right.
and I'm sure everyone has a price and that sort of thing, but, he's just trying to protect our interests here and just trying to keep people from straying.
Right.
And and to keep ourselves safe and I don't want to say safe and warm, but it's to keep us kind of insulated from the rest of everything else.
Oh, from countries meddling in our domestic politics and
Yeah.
social policies
Yeah.
and influencing politics. And I think that was a big factor
Yeah.
in this last election, and again with WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
And you have seen all of the insider information
Yes.
that she was taking millions and millions and millions.
Yeah.
And if you notice, she never talked ill will of any of these other countries or anything.
Nothing.
and she concentrated on basically just trying to slam Trump.
Well, right, she was too busy trying to be a reality show now, slamming them right there and
Yeah.
not looking to the future and not trying to outline a plan that's gonna help the American people.
Yeah.
So,
And this is one of the points too, I think Americans really understood was, she said that she was for women,
yes,
and have fought for women their entire lives, and for children,
yes,
and that she wanted to protect children. And then at one of the debates, there was a partial birth abortion question,
yes,
and that hit home
mhm,
with the evangelists,
yeah,
which are huge
Yes.
voting bloc.
yes,
And then also that how could she represent women when she took millions and millions and millions of dollars from all these countries from Saudi Arabia?
exactly.
You got your hand in one pot over here,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got your hand in another pot over here,
Yeah,
and then you're trying to say, oh, it's all good.
right,
And I think another thing the Americans saw through was she had one policy for public,
yeah,
and then another for private and her
exactly.
donators and so. And I think Americans really saw through that.
And, it's a good thing that they did, oh, maybe I shouldn't say a good thing, but it was very observant of the
Yeah.
masses to see
I'll say
that.
it was a good thing,
Yeah.
because if it wasn't, she would have got in,
Yeah,
and who knows where the corruption,
oh, it wouldn't have ended, it would have just been
and
endless.
and it's still there.
Yeah,
So, well, I got some other points that we'll talk about. What was another point that Trump
let's
wanted
see
to do in
here.
100 days?
In his sixth point, let's see here, a complete ban on foreign lobbyists raising money for America.
Okay.
So, this is kind of the opposite, or at least looking at it from the other direction, where we have the folks from the Middle East trying to lobby for money for these candidates, which in effect will be for themselves
Right.
to, make things easier for their oil or their whatever else we're importing. It's like, it's dizzying to think about how Trump has already lined up this stuff, but it's all kind of a check and balance sort of thing,
Right.
and someone's gonna have to be watching, and
Oh, sure. Well, the media. We heard the concession speech. I got all these audios that we can listen to.
yeah,
I'll play Trump's victory speech. I'm not going to play it all because we only got 2 hours
well, that's true,
show, but I'll play some of Hillary's too.
yeah.
Is there any other points that he wants to do in the
These
first
were
100
the
days?
6 main ones.
Okay.
But he did want to put something in about China being a money manipulator.
Oh,
the
currency manipulator.
Currency manipulator.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And so, and I don't know if that's more of a reminder or if it's a red flag sort of thing where, just watch out, China, while they may say they're assisting us or we're going to assist them, they are a currency hazard
Yeah.
or something for us. So, yeah, I mean, that was another, I think that was point number 7 that I saw. So
Okay.
I saw 6, but those 6 are pretty.
And those are the 6 or 7 things he wants to get done in the first 100 days.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And the people have been going in and out of the Trump Tower in New York, and which is good. He's had so many executives and people going in and out. So he took, I don't even think he took half a day off.
Yeah, I don't think.
And he
did
got
either.
the start right away,
Yeah.
which he means it.
I
No,
think-
Trump is one of these guys that he says what he's gonna do, and he's gonna do what he says that he's gonna
Right.
talk about.
I mean, he's already been to
Yeah.
the White House, and
Yeah.
I found it funny, the pictures that they were taking and stuff, the facial expressions, I think, were pretty telling.
But who looked like what?
Mr. Obama was looking a little perturbed a little bit.
Okay.
And
Probably still in shell shock.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
And the handshake looked a little bit like like a wet fish sort of handshake, you know,
All right.
not a man's man sort of handshake where,
Okay, so it wasn't like a real friendly,
No.
strong shake.
mm-mm,
It was more, I have to do this
right,
and
just
get it
for
over.
the
Okay.
pictures and
Okay.
stuff like that.
I haven't
so.
seen any of that.
Yeah, I you know, because like I said, the expression on Mr. Obama's face was kind of, it wasn't happy by any means.
Sure.
And it wasn't even a welcoming, I didn't think.
Right.
But, you know, men deal with that so differently than women. You know, as women, it's a little bit catty and a little bit, yeah.
Kitty.
Totally, you know, and I didn't know cats really said that. Just to, you know, get off the subject for 1 second, but I didn't think cats talked, but they do.
They do.
And
You just gotta listen to the language.
exactly.
They do.
I
They
know.
talk all the time.
I know, but anyway, they, maybe a man would not catch that reaction
Right.
between Trump and Mr. Obama.
Right.
But I did, and I was like, wow, that facial expression tells everything.
How did Trump present himself?
He was
he
very
more?
upstanding, businesslike,
Alright.
and
Good.
he's like, yeah, we don't agree on a lot of things. There's some things we do agree on. You know, he was very realistic in his approach to Mr. Obama. But you know, you could tell that there has been friction in the past. I mean, didn't Trump tell Mr. Obama a few times, "You don't know what you're talking about," or?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no love lost between Hillary
Oh no.
and, well, the President Obama came out and he put his legacy and all of his policies injected into the election.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that he's still shell shocked that his legacy is going to be torn up.
Oh man.
His legacy is the Affordable Care Act.
Yes.
That's another thing that Trump wants to do. And I
Oh.
heard this week it was announced that he's going to keep a couple provisions within it, which I thought he would anyway. And the first one was that the pre-existing
Conditions.
medical conditions will
Yeah.
remain, which is good.
Yeah.
And then children up to like age 26 can still be on their parents' health
Sure.
plan.
Sure.
And maybe it should be up to 28.
Well, right. The way things
You know,
are going now.
yeah.
Yes, I know.
And but he's gonna tear up the rest of this.
Yeah, it's
And-
and I can see why some people are getting a little out of sorts because they're saying, "Oh my God, the insurance is going to end," and et cetera, et cetera. But it has become almost out of reach.
Yeah, it's unsustainable.
Right.
And we remember what President Obama said. You can keep your doctor and your plan.
Exactly.
And,
you can't.
and Americans remember it.
Yes.
And now I'm not going to get into any bashing.
No.
And I've been on Facebook a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And this week I went on and I didn't talk a lot. I
Uh-huh.
didn't do any bashing,
Right.
nor did I do any gloating.
Well, right.
And I think that at first it was very hard for me not
Well,
to,
right. I know. Me
because for a year and a half,
too. We had
you know,
to suffer
since-
through this.
8 years.
Well, I was going to say
suffering,
we've been
but-
there a while.
But since I've been on the show it's been about a year and 4
Mhm.
months.
Sure.
And I've been warning everyone about the Americans and how we're tired of it.
Yeah.
And you can only lie so much before, the American public is very forgiving.
Yes.
And if you mess something up, in most Americans, including all across all lines,
Uh-huh.
if you're black, Asian, Latino, white,
Mhm.
whatever it is, that we're all forgiving.
Right.
But when the lies start accumulating and stuff like that, you reach a point where you couldn't handle another 4 to 8 years
Right.
of it. And I think that was one of the biggest influencing factors
Yes.
that happened Tuesday night.
And you know what's really weird, that you say that because when Clinton was in office and he was there 8 years, and then Bush was there 8 years, it shocks me that people are shocked that Trump won, because in the last 2 8-year runs, these leaders you know, they were decent and everything, but people just wanted a change. They wanted something that was going to be positive for them and
Right.
that would, you know, perhaps brighten their future.
Yeah,
You know?
give people hope,
Right,
a voice and a
Yeah.
hope. And, you know, here's the difference in the strategy too, where
Mhm.
Trump went to all these cities
yes,
all across they call it the flyover zone, you know, middle America, that's
Sure.
where we live here.
yeah,
Trump went back and forth and he listened and he connected with the people.
yes,
And you saw at his rallies that he had 20, 30, 40,000 people.
yes, he did.
And there'd be sometimes no less than 3-4 hours notice
Uh-huh,
on some of these towards the end, and he was still packing stadiums, 20, 30,000 people. Hillary was not getting those numbers.
no,
And another thing is the Republican base was a lot more excited
right,
about it. And then I think Trump had more female voters and also the minority vote than Mitt Romney.
he did,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And then, is this true or not? We got about a minute left. We gotta go to break. So I read this morning that, and I don't know if the stats are true or not, that Trump won by 200,000 popular votes than over Hillary. See, now I heard that she won the popular vote.
Yes, she did,
But I heard that over the weekend all the votes are finally tallied.
yes.
And I heard Trump won the popular vote now.
Oh, now see,
So I don't know how accurate that is.
I saw a statistic that said Hillary had 66.4 million votes,
Okay.
he only had 66 flat million.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, but that was, I
Okay.
was looking at it this morning, but, you know, but these folks here that I was reading about want to, you know, these votes, they're counted, they're tallied and stuff, but the electoral votes, from what I understand, don't get recorded actually till December 19th.
Correct.
So now there's a group around trying
Right.
to sway
Mm-hmm.
these electoral votes
Yeah.
to go towards Hillary because she should win because, well, she just should win. She should get a trophy or whatever. And, you know, I don't understand how they can do that because even though the votes are not exactly counted, they have
Right.
been cast.
Right.
So,
And it's per state.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
we got to cut the break
okay.
to some
All
of our
right.
sponsors. We'll be back in a couple minutes. We got another whole hour
Woohoo!
of the Dave Mierswa Show going over the election results. And I got some good audios I'm going to play here.
Excellent.
And I think we're going to laugh a little bit too.
Okay, cool.
All right,
All
we'll
right.
be back a couple minutes.
All right, bye.